Welcome to Spoken Reviews, home of the Spoken Reviews. Today, guys, we have an exciting review of the ASUS ROG GL552. Alright, guys, now this ASUS GL5522 comes in two different forms. This is the metallic form, so you guys can see right here, the back is metal. And depending on which region you get it in, you're going to get two different types. And so this version, the back is metal. And the other one, you're going to have a plastic kind of matte finish version. My preference is going to be this metal one. Again, this is aluminum metal, so it gets cold in the winter. When you go to the ports, you guys are going to see that on this side, we do have the DVD, Blu-ray drive. We have a USB port. We have a headphone jack, a microphone jack. On the front, we're going to have the SD card slot. On this side, you're going to have the power port right here. Then you're going to have a video out. Then you're going to have an HDMI. You're going to have the Ethernet port right there. You're going to have two USB ports. In addition, we have the charger, which in my opinion is a very high quality charger. Pretty small power brick, so not that big. This is going to be 240 volts charger, international charger. Pretty nice, well put together. Okay, now when you look at the keyboard, the first thing you notice is that this is a fingerprint magnet. So you're going to be very careful with keeping this clean. Even just regular oil, even if you wash your hands, oil, everything just gets on it and it kind of smudges it. You will notice that the power button is right here. Some people don't like it. It doesn't really bother me at all. As far as the keys go, I really do enjoy this keyboard. Very solid. One thing you have to get used to is if you're not used to having the numbers over here, the keys are slightly moved over to the left to accommodate that. Some people don't like it. It doesn't bother me because my old HP has the same layout, so I like it. When you get online and you read reviews, the biggest complaint you're going to get is going to be the touchpad right here, and it's mainly the clicking. It's almost like it gives in too much. So see if you guys can see that. It goes down probably more than most do. And on my model, to me, it looks like the right side is a little bit further down than the left side. And that was like that out of the box. So that does kind of bother me. But as far as the scrolling, it is super, super smooth. And, you know, the multi-gestures, you can do, you know, all types of multi-gestures. So I don't have any complaints about that. The one thing that does bother me is, and this has been noted online too, if you're using Microsoft Edge, specifically on Facebook, when you're scrolling up and down too fast, the whole screen will black out on you. It's the weirdest thing. It doesn't happen in Chrome, that only happens in Microsoft Edge. But once again, my overall opinion is the keyboard's great. It is backlit, so you can see, you can turn it up and down. So that's it all the way lit. Some people don't like the red, I do. It's a matter of personal preference. But, I mean, my overall opinion on the keyboard is it's an excellent keyboard. I actually like this keyboard the same or better than a MacBook. I actually like this keyboard probably better than a MacBook for typing. The trackpad though, it's not the best. I don't think it's a deal breaker for me, but I do worry about the longevity of the laptop with the trackpad. So guys, the screen on this ROG laptop is amazing. In my opinion, this is probably one of the best screens that I've seen on a Windows PC. In fact, whenever I had this next to the 2015 MacBook Pro 15-inch Retina, you know, in some instances I thought that this was even better than the Retina. And then some of my friends who were probably a little partial to Mac thought the Mac was better, but if this isn't one of the, you know, the best screens you've ever seen, I mean, it's really hard to compete. I can't say, enough about this screen. It's a pleasure to look at. It's a pleasure to view, watching movies, playing games. As you can see, these pictures, they're really just fantastic. It's a pleasure. Now getting into some specifics about the screen. This screen does cover 93% of RGB color, and it's going to cover 72% of Adobe RGB. So not only do the specs kind of show that, but the actual screen itself does show that. Now I kind of want to show you guys the viewing angle. So you can see straight on, it looks fantastic. As you turn it, you do lose a little bit, but you do have a pretty, in my opinion, good angles on that. So you guys can see, you turn it, you do lose some, but not really. I mean, this is a pleasure to look at. It's, in my opinion, it's pretty amazing, especially for the price point. I mean, you can get this, it's supposed to be $1,100, but you can only get it on sale for $1,000. So in my opinion, heavy thumbs up. Love the screen, and definitely a pleasure. Now, to make this laptop affordable, ROG did have to cut some corners, and one of the things they did cut is going to be the speakers. The speakers are right here, so they're pretty much facing you, and you'd think they'd be a little louder. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play a couple videos. So here's one from my channel, my PC vs. Mac round 3. And over here, we're going to have the 2015 15-inch MacBook Pro Retina. All right, so value is... So there you go there. Here's a clip of Chris Rock.
Big, fat, black women. Give me a sister about 350 pounds. The best people in the whole world. You know why? Because we live in a society where nobody likes...
Okay, and then here's Packers versus Cardinals clips.
Aaron Rodgers back in Week 16 suffered his worst loss ever against the Cardinals, 38-8. Carson Palmer 0-2.
So you guys can see, not really great full sound. I probably get better sound out of my Samsung Note 4, which is a 1.5 years old. So disappointed with that. Is it a deal breaker? It's kind of hard to say. I mean, it bothers me a lot. You really have to kind of weigh that for yourself, how important it is. To me, it really does bother me. I can't say it's quite a deal breaker for the laptop, but it is a big issue. If they would have, put an extra $5 or $10 or whatever it would take to really enhance the speakers, I think it would have been worth it. And they probably would have had something that would have knocked it out the park. All right, guys. So battery life on this isn't going to be that great. When gaming, we're looking at probably an hour, maybe a little longer than an hour. And with regular use, we're looking at anywhere from 4 to 5 hours, depending on what you're doing. So make sure you keep that charger close, because you're not going to be able to go that far with this. But you have to remember, this is a powerhouse, and this is a gaming laptop. And most gaming laptops do have crappy batteries. So you can't be too hard on this ASUS ROG for that. One thing they could have done is, instead of having a DVD drive, like they do have in this, they could have, used that space for bigger battery life. You only have a 45-watt battery in this, which is really, really small. If they would have saved the space on the DVD drive, maybe put a 90-watt or 100-watt battery, it'd have been, way more battery. But they chose to go the opposite direction, and that's what we have. So this ASUS GL552VW is a beast. We're looking at a 6th Gen i7 processor. That's quad core, so 4 different cores working at the same time. Very, very, very powerful. We're looking at 16 gigs of ddr4 RAM, and we do have the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 960M processor in there. So very, very, very high specs. The only thing that's making this a mid-tier instead of a top-tier laptop is going to be the fact that we have only the 960M processor. But in my opinion, for most people, for casual gaming and also for video editing, this is going to be a tremendous beast. Okay guys, so as far as gameplay goes, I think, this does a pretty good job at playing, most games. This is an older version This is going to be Mafia, which is a super old game, but it's free on Steam. You can see, I mean, the game plays really well. I'm just driving a car. So, killed somebody, oops. But yeah, I mean, game plays well. I think you can play any modern titles. I didn't specifically buy this to play games. I bought this more for video editing, but in a pinch, I can play games if I want to. That's not going to be a problem at all. I can easily, you know, play games. And, you know, with the screen, like I said, the screen is fantastic. And I've played a couple games on here, and they all look really good. They run really smooth. So I have no, you know, question that this is going to be a good, as far as games go. This isn't going to be a top of the line computer because it's not. But my preference for games is always going to be on the console. I have an Xbox One. I also have a PS4, and that is where you're going to see me playing games on. But for you guys who are buying this exclusively for games, feel free and confident that, hey, you can play, you know, the newest games. You can play, you know, the Call of Duties, the Fallouts on this with no problems with these specs. And these specs are very, very high. So even down the road, you'll be able to continue playing the latest titles with this, probably for, you know, the next 4 or 5 years. So pretty good graphics. Fun, easy to play, pretty enjoyable. So a lot of people know that gaming laptops are normally great laptops for video editing. So here we have PowerDirector open. And for me, this is kind of what I was more concerned with. I was more concerned with getting a computer, not for gaming, but for editing video. In my testing, I was able to export and render a 30-minute. And what I did, I just took a bunch of HD and 4K clips. 30 minutes worth of 4K clips. I was able to export it out, and I think it took about 5 minutes. So very, very impressive. A lot of that to do with PowerDirector is a great tool for Windows PCs, but also just the specs. I mean, the 6th Gen i7, 16 gigs of RAM, and also the 960M video card made, you know, editing and exporting video really great. So those out there who are concerned about video editing, this is going to be a great video editing computer. All right, guys, in conclusion, this is a fantastic computer for a great price. This ASUS ROG can do everything a $2,000 MacBook Pro 15-inch can do, but for half the price. So it can edit video the same, if not better, than a MacBook. But it can also play games on it, which is a plus at the MacBook. You can play games on the MacBook, but they won't be great. The price, fantastic. Once again, 6th Gen i7, fantastic. 16 gigs of ddr4 RAM, fantastic. Terabyte hard drive is really good. There's also a M2 slot, so you can put up to 256 M2 SSD in there, so you can, you know, get upwards of 600 write and read speed if you upgrade that. That's going to be an additional price. So this is a fantastic computer for a fantastic price. There are a couple things that I don't like. Real quickly, I mentioned earlier, I'm not a fan at all of this ClickPad. I don't like it. A lot of people online don't like it. I understand why they don't like it. I don't like having to hit function to turn the screen brightness up and down. I don't like that. I wish it was dedicated. And I don't like the speakers. Besides that, this is a great value computer for playing games, editing video. This is fantastic. Great value, and I can definitely recommend it for people out there. Other than that, I would suggest you guys go out there, get your hands on it, and play with it. My experience is, once again, fantastic computer, fantastic price. Guys, if you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button for me. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them below. If you want to see more great videos like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys, and have a great day.